Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, to the world of Wayne. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. We've got issue 1 of the trial of Build Your Own Iron Man. Now, you know these are trials because they'll be released in certain parts of the UK. Now, luckily enough, Svi Wheeler, and I'll put a link to his YouTube channel down here, he's managed to get a list of all of the W.H. Smiths this appears in around the country, and I'm going to list them on the screen here so that you can see if there's one near you. I warn you, this has been out for over a week already now, so a lot of these are sold out. But thank you to Luke Cotterill for getting me the one that you're seeing in this video, and also thank you to Gareth Corbishley, my cousin, who's getting me another one. God, I'm greedy, aren't I? Let me just show you what we've got. I've taken the magazine off so you can see the back of it actually comes on. As you can see, it's from deagostini. This one's 99p, and everything you get is in here. And look, in here, for 99p, you get a metal screwdriver in red. I think that's worth that all by its own self. You've got all the parts to make the helmet and to light it up. You will need batteries. The batteries this comes are AR3s, and you'll need 2 of those, so I've already picked them up already so we can light this up and demonstrate that for you. I'll go into more about what's in the pack. Let's just turn it over. Pretty impressed here. I can't make my camera go further back. Obviously, all about Iron Man. Telling you that the next part's going to be $4.99. Whether we see issue 2 is another thing. I doubt it very much. And it may be out, but whether I get it is another thing, because this is only a trial. It says easy assembly. We'll see that when we come around to doing it. And just talking about what you get in the magazine. So I'm just going to put that to one side for a second and show you some of the magazines that we get. First off, they've got their usual pamphlet, which I'll zoom up on, which shows you what you get if you subscribe today. Now, obviously, being a trial, this is likely to change. But you've got free gifts, which are set of posters. Your second free gift's the binder. The third one, a t-shirt here with a sort of like honeycomb sort of centre with bits of the Avengers and other characters in the middle there. Then we've got the free gift Iron Man hat. I do like that. I like the cap big time. And then a power bank for your mobile phone is the 5th free gift. And basically just goes into a bit more detail about the free gift. A stand for it to stand on there. As you can see, it looks like it's a rod that's going to keep it upright as well. Now, spec-wise, getting the blister pack again, just showing you the back. You see it's 60 centimetres in height and it's going to be 5 kilograms. But when I build this section here, just the helmet, I will put it next to the Terminator head so you can get an idea of what this is. I think a lot of people have rumoured that it's probably going to be about a 1/4 scale. Okay, let's show you the magazine you get. So this is what it looks like, issue 1, and I will go through the magazine. I don't normally do this completely when we do these builds. I just go to the parts where we're actually building it. But just a little bit of information about Iron Man, obviously from Iron Man 1 there. We've got another information bit about getting number 2, and there's actually a date that you can get that on here as well. Look, 18th of the 9th, 19. So be interesting to see if that does come out in the shops of that date. With trials, it can get confusing because it does look like it's going ahead, and you may even get an email saying that, you know, your trial's been accepted and we're just waiting to activate the subscriptions, that sort of thing. I wouldn't believe it until you actually see it in your hands. But anyway, so back to the magazine, showing us all the parts that we've got in this issue, and then we're going to be building them up here. And it's pretty much step to step, which is good, like deagostini. Just going back, actually, that's the last page there. It does tell us about the screws. The screws are named AM, BP, AP, BM. We're used to that sort of lettering system on our screws. And then once again, it does tell us what's in the next issue. Build Iron Man's left boot. Doesn't show us in the magazine what's coming in the next issue, but it does show us on that pamphlet, which is quite interesting. They normally, once it's left like that, it means we're not normally getting it. And then the last thing we get is we get a pull-out, which is what they call a summary of everything that's to do with this model. And this folds out, you can see this, into a massive poster. So we've got all about the Mark III armour. That's what we're building. And then if we open this out again, God, I'm going to get in a mess here. I'm going to try and show you this off camera in a second, because I'm going to need to show you how big the thing is. But we've got information about the gifts again, and then on this side just some secret history of an incredible hero, all about that. And then again some more details getting in such a mess here of just the armor, and then last but not least what it's going to look like when it's finished. And obviously the thing that they don't show you is the rod that's going to go straight up its butt when it's on a stand. But yeah, 60 centimetres in height, 5 kilograms. And then last but not least, this opens out into an absolutely ginormous poster looking like that. Now this poster is A0 size, so this poster will fit where my Back to the Future one is. As a matter of fact, let's change that now and put Iron Man in there. And there we go, as if by magic, we've now got Iron Man in the poster there. So it's about the same size as the Back to the Future poster that was there, which was A0 size. If you can imagine flip chart paper, that's the size of it. Okay, so without further ado, I can't wait to get on this one. Let's get cracking and show you what the build's like. And there we go, you can see it a lot better now. I've taken it out of the case. As I said, we have got a metal screwdriver here, which I'm going to try and get out. Absolutely brilliant, because it's one of these screwdrivers that you can hold at the end and it rotates, a bit like the wearer ones. So this in itself is worth more than 99p, so I think it's great to have this as one of the trial versions. Okay, let's get cracking. Okay, the first thing we need is the actual helmet. This helmet is metal and it's quite heavy, just so you know. So all of this is metal. And the first thing we need is the connecting rod. And this is what the connecting rod is. And guess what? Yep, you guessed it. This is metal too. So already I'm impressed with this, because I didn't expect them both to be metal. Quite simply, we've got two lugs just at the back there. We're going to be putting the connecting rod just on like that. I'm just going to check if it does go in a certain way. It does, and the reason for that is, as you can see, we've got a hole in the end here. That hole in the end is going to match the lug we've got just in the centre there on that bit there. So we put it in the right way. We're going to be screwing this in with BM screws, and the really good thing, look, they are actually labelled BM screws. So get these out, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the screwdriver that comes with it. First off, is the screwdriver magnetic? Yes, it is. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, we'll put this in and we'll get this screwed in. So first screw's going in quite well. It's not slipping in like I thought it would, but it's going in well. So put the second side in. Oh, that one's going in a lot better. Make sure it's very tight. And there we go, that's the connecting rod in. Okay, next thing we're going to need to do is we've got a visor base here, looking just like that. This is going to be this way up, and this is going to be pushed into this section here. Again, no bolting in, because it's got some tabs on the side that when it puts in, they're going to come out along the sides just there, and then that's going to keep that held in all by itself, looking just like that. Now we need to put these lights, looking like this, into the light support. Now in the picture, the light support looks like the same sort of material that we've got the helmet on, but in fact it's not. It's actually a red bit of material looking just like that. So that's the first error that I've noticed in the trial. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting the lights in from this direction, so not the direction that this bit here is coming out of. They're coming in from this direction here, and quite simply all we're going to do is just push them in. One and then two, held in place lovely, just like that. That was easy enough. Then we're going to be bringing over the head again, and we're going to be putting this in just like this way round, so that the bolt holes here are going to match up with the holes just here and here of the helmet. So I'm going to put that in now, just like that. So it's going to fit in like that, and then we're going to be securing it in with AM screws just into these two holes here. Okay, that's the first one in. Notice I'm using only the things that have come in this delivery. I haven't used my own screwdrivers or anything on this. There we go. And then that's the two light switches onto the light connector there. Now, once again, they've missed a little stage on this, but what they want us to do is, this is the battery box here. This is where we're going to be putting the battery, just in here. But they want us to screw this in, and this is going to be screwed into the last vacant hole that we've got in the helmet there, just at the top. So I'm going to put that in now. They seem to have omitted this section. They just want me to connect the lights to the battery box. They forgot about the actual putting the battery box into the unit. Now when we put this in, the battery box has got a switch on it, but it doesn't tell me yet where that's got to go. So I'll figure that bit out in a minute, but I'm going to line this up. Just like that, as you can see in there. Now I'm going to screw this in with BM screws. They seem to be the only screws that's going to fit this in. So they don't actually tell us though, because they haven't actually told us to put the battery box in. Even though, as you saw in the pictures, it was in. So I'm putting that in now. So that's 3 errors so far. Oh my god, you can see why this is a trial now. We can put that to one side now, because the next thing we need is a plastic helmet support piece, and that looks like this, and as mentioned, that is plastic. Okay, so the next thing, we need the helmet support piece, which looks like this, and this is going to go on the helmet support place. Now you see we've got 3 holes in the middle. we've got the same 3 holes just in this section here. Doesn't matter what way around we put it on, but it's going to go on just like that. We're going to be securing this into place with AP screws. So I've got the AP screws here. Now, as I said, all the screws that you're going to need for this come in this issue. So screw that nice and tight, and there's 3 of these to put in. That's the first one. There's the second one. There's quite a lot to do in this first issue, isn't there? Which is absolutely amazing. I think someone did comment that why would you build the most iconic part first? You know, people are going to make a bust and then that will be it. Just quit the magazine. There we go. That looks just like that. Now we need to get this piece looking just like that. This is going to be going on the side of the Iron Man helmet, and it's looking like this on the other side. We have got one on the other side, but on the other side it's just a magnet. So we just want this piece here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this little catch onto this section here, but there is a groove just at the side there. So we need to make sure it matches the groove just in the side of this section here. And once it's in, we're going to put that in with a BP screw, which I've already got lined up here. So we'll put that down. And then when that's in, it's going to look just like that from that side and that from that side. Then we need the helmet base piece, which looks just like this. And once again, this is metal, quite heavy as well, which is quite interesting. And quite simply, this is going to go in here so that these 2 holes here line up with these 2 holes here on the helmet support plate, just like so. There you go. And we're going to secure this in with BM screws. So once again, I'm using my screwdriver that came with this. I'm going to screw this in. Nice and tight. One more for the other side here. There we go, nice and tight. Already I do like the quality. I know I've been having a laugh about some of the problems in the instructions, but the quality of this is pretty amazing, I have to say. Now it wants us to put these side pieces in, so the one that we have with the catch that we made is going to go into this left side like that, so that the little tab that we had fits in a groove that we got just down the bottom there. I've just zoomed up so you can see that a little bit better, and then we're going to do the same on the other side, but this time this one's magnetic, so it doesn't matter how it goes on, to be honest with you, but you can rotate this around however you wish. So that's that. Now we've got a couple of things that I've come back to do on the original helmet. First things first, I'm going to connect these electrics up, make sure they're in the right way, and we're just going to push this in together. So this is going to enable the lights to light up. And then we've got the switch here. Now the switch is going to need to be attached to just this point here, where you can see we've got 2 holes. And this is where I think there's another problem with the magazine. I think it's going to be easier to put the switch on first and then attach this plate. So that's what I'm going to do. Now the switch is going to be kept into place with a BP screw. So I'm going to get this loaded up because this bit's going to be slightly tricky. Now there is a lug we have to push into this so that we can ensure we've put it in the right way round. There we go, we've got that in. I'm going to show you a close-up of that just on the side camera. That's how the switch needs to look there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put this back into the plate that it's got to go into. It was much easier. It definitely was much easier putting it in that way, I have to say. Putting the switch in and then the plate. That was an actual tricky bit for a first issue as well, I have to say. There we go, that's the first screw in, back from this plate, and I put the second one in. There we go, that's that. And once again, I'll put these on the side here. Now when I put this bit in here, as I said, it's going to be this, that when I turn, is going to operate the switch. So again, if I'm going to show you this close up, watch the switch, and when I turn, as you can see, it closes the switch to make that a complete circuit. Now we're going to be piecing all of this together. So I'm just going to take the top bit and the bottom bit, we're going to push it together like this, and then we've got some lugs in here that are going to match the screw holes that we got on this side. I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to make sure that these side pieces don't fall out as well. And then we're going to be screwing this to the main piece there with 3 BM screws just in this section here. So I'll get these loaded up, and what we want to do is when we put this in, before we screw it down, we want to make sure that these side pieces are fully in and there's no holes around them, because one of them is what's going to be controlling the switch. And the last thing we want to do is have to open the whole thing up just to get the switch to work. So put the second one in here. And then we've got the third one to put in over here. All good. And that's those 3 screws in. Now's the time we need to put our batteries in, just into that section there. So I've got my batteries here. These are, as I mentioned before, A3 batteries. I'm just going to cut them out and make sure I put them in the right way as well. So you know what? One of the hardest things to do in this build is actually put the batteries in. The batteries that go there, absolute nightmare. But what we do is, let's just put this bit on the side here, which is just the magnetic bit that fits in the side, and obviously we can have that as we want it. But on the other side here, if we tilt this, as you can see, the lights are going to come on and off. On and off. So, almost finished. We're going to be putting the battery cover on, just like this. And that's going to be held in with a BP screw. Nice and tight. And then we're going to take the last piece, which is the mask, the iconic mask. And we've got a couple of bits to put inside that. The first one, we've got a mask piece, which is just going to go into this section at the bottom here. And then we've got a visor piece, which is just going to go over the eyes here. And obviously this is directional. We need to make sure that they're in the same way as the eyes. I'm going to put that in just like that. And these are all going to be held in with AM screws. So I've got them ready here. And we'll get them in place. And then that means that the Iron Man helmet is fully complete. So this is the visor going in. And there we go. And that looks just like that. And then we've just got the mouthpiece. Again, going in the same way. And this is just going to keep it locked into place. Then another AM screw just into this here for the mouthpiece. Oops, daisies. And there we go, that's that into place. And then because this fits with magnets, all we've got to do is put the top over just like this. And that is the Iron Man helmet done. And the iconic part now, when I start it up, oops, wrong way, this way, the lights come on. Dun, 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 dun. That looks brilliant, doesn't it? Let's just show you on this side camera here. This is the close-up camera. So that's off, and then you just spin it round to turn on. And that's how it does. And this is quite heavy, to be honest with you. Very heavy, actually. But what do you think of that? Pretty impressive, huh? So I'm going to keep this with the lights on for a second, so it looks like that. If I hold this with the Terminator head, that'll give you some idea of scale. But here's this. This is something you don't see in the video. The weight of this Terminator head, and you remember how much bigger, and with all the metal in it, the Iron Man helmet is heavier. Believe it or not. So there you go. Even though the Iron Man helmet is smaller, it's heavier than the Terminator head at the moment. So that's what it looks like. Pretty cool. Now, what did I think of that build? That was quite tricky. As a matter of fact, the hardest bit of the build was putting the batteries in. So, but some people have complained about a gap around the side, and they are right. This one here does have a gap just in there. And I mean, I can try and squeeze it, but to be honest with you, it didn't fit together too well for that. I mean, it's hardly noticeable, to be honest with you. But for an issue 1 and a trial, I think we have 3 errors in the instructions, and you saw I did some things a different way around because they just didn't make sense the way that deagostini wanted us to do it. But there you go. That is the Iron Man helmet, issue 1 complete. I don't know if we're going to be getting issue 2, so you might have to make your feel with this at the moment and see how it goes. If we do get issue 2, then I will try and get that out to you as well. But remember, this is a trial. It could stop at any time. Until it goes into full production, I don't know when that's going to be. We'll see. I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please remember to give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe. Take care.